Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. M.N. Gupta, Emeritus Professor in the Department of Biochemical Engineering and Biotechnology at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Today we are going to talk on module Fat Soluble Vitamins from the paper Structure and Function of Biomolecules 2. A strong component of early biochemistry was related to nutrition. Very early it was realized that human beings and birds and animals require some substances other than carbohydrate, fat and proteins. Various diseases led to the discovery of these factors. So broadly these factors called vitamins were identified as either fat soluble or water soluble. In today's module we will discuss just fat soluble vitamins. So the objective of this module are to understand the role of vitamin A in vision, to learn about the role of vitamin D in calcium absorption, to learn about how vitamin K is involved in fibrin clot formation, and to learn about the status of our information about vitamin E's role in nutrition. So the concept map is simple. It tells that about how the vitamins are classified as water soluble or fat soluble, and among the fat soluble vitamins we have A, which is involved in the vision, D, which is involved in the bone formation, E, which possibly has a role in reproduction, and K, which is very important for the blood clotting. It was in 1906 that F.G. Hopkins suggested that animals require some minimal qualitative factors similar to the dietetic factors, which if deficient in the diet can lead to diseases like scurvy and rickets. Few years later, the involvement of these accessory factors in the utilization of proteins, fats and carbohydrates was established. These small molecular weight compounds were called vitamins by Funk in 1912. The word is derived from the prefix vita, which actually means like. Originally spelled differently, originally spelled as vitamins, as Funk believed that the anti-beriberi factor in rice polishing was an amine. So vitamins were divided into 4 classes in due course of the time. The water soluble vitamins, the main representative examples are vitamin B and C, vitamin B group and vitamin C, etc. And of course the fat soluble vitamins, which we are talking in this module, A, D, E and K. D is strictly a provitamin, as we will see in the later part of this module. The understanding of the role of water soluble vitamins was gained early. On the other hand, for quite some time, the role of fat soluble vitamins puzzled scientists, as unlike water soluble vitamins, especially of the B complex, a correlation between their deficiency and a disease was not there. At one time, essential fatty acids were called vitamin F, but that term was soon abandoned. In 1902, McCollum's group showed that a fat soluble material in butter and cod liver oil contained 2 vitamins, vitamin A with anti-xerothalmic activity and vitamin D with anti-rachitic activity. The carotenes, the alpha carotenes, beta carotenes and gamma carotenes, and cryptoxanthines, which are found in higher plants, and myoxanthines in blue-green algae, these were called provitamins. These provitamins, when fed to the animal, were found to get converted into vitamin A activity. Xerothalmia, the syndrome of vitamin A deficiency, is typical of rats. However, the role of vitamin A in visual processes was soon established. It was also established early that the excess of vitamin A can be toxic to animals if taken in long dosages for a long time. This leads to a serious condition called hypervitaminosis. In fact, this is true of all fat soluble vitamins. This is because while excess water soluble vitamins can be excreted easily, this is not so with fat soluble vitamins. They remain within the body for a longer time. Milk and food, for example breakfast cereals etc., are fortified with A and D. This has been the practice in the developed countries for a long time. But their dosage is carefully chosen so that it does not exceed for a person consuming meals which may also contain these vitamins. Many of the current books refer to vitamin A as vitamin A1, which leaves one wondering whether there is a vitamin A2. When people just say vitamin A, it is implied that they are talking of vitamin A1. Feeding of animals beta carotene or A1 produces vitamin A2. Vitamin A2, dehydro form of vitamin A, arises from vitamin A1. A2 is found in some animal tissues and in large amounts in freshwater fishes. Some of it occurs as an ester in the livers. Neovitamin A, which is the 13-cis form, which is shown here in the slide, also occurs as fish liver oils. In some crustacea, 11-cis isomer, that is NeoB, is also present abundantly. Of all these forms, vitamin A has highest potency. The chemical test for vitamin A is the well-known Carr-Price reaction. Vitamin A forms blue color with SbCl3 in chloroform and has been used for estimation of vitamin A since early days. Later, as spectrophotometers became more freely available, the lambda max absorption by vitamin A around 325 to 328 nm was used to quantify vitamin A. The extinction coefficient into conversion factor gives the unit of vitamin A per gram of oil. The conversion factor converts the absorption based number to original rat assay, which is the bioassay. Many workers reported different results on rat assay, and hence conversion factors ranging from 1600 to 2200 have been used. Pure vitamin A, which is an alcohol, has the value of 1750 for this conversion factor, which sometimes is called E value. While involvement of vitamin A in while involvement of a vitamin A in vision is more well known, its deficiency also affects other organs. We refer to epithelial changes in the organs. Actually, vitamin A deficiency also affects growth of bones and teeth. Dry skin and development of skin lesions are known to be associated with vitamin A deficiency. Urolithiasis, formation of urinary calculi, also is known to be caused due to deficiency of this vitamin. A range of 40 to 300 international units per 100 ml of plasma has been reported as a safe range. 1 IU, that is the international unit of the vitamin, corresponds to about 0.3 microgram of vitamin A. On the other hand, hypervitaminosis often escapes detection. Headache, nausea, vomiting, drowsiness, dermatitis, tenderness of bones, alopecia are all known to be associated with hypervitaminosis. Fish liver oils, that is such as oils of black sea bass, swordfish, lingcod and male soupfin shark are among those rich in vitamin A. Cod has reasonable amount. The international standard is vitamin A acetate, of which 0.344 microgram corresponds to 1 international unit of the vitamin A. This is equal to 0.3 microgram of vitamin A and 0.6 microgram of beta carotene. An average person of about 70 kilogram weight requires 5000 international unit of vitamin A per day. Eggs, milk, cheese, greeny leafy vegetables, corn and carrot are good sources of vitamin A. Synthetic vitamin A preparation such as vitamin A palmitate do not have fishy taste and hence are preferred by some people. The conditions for carrying out rat assay, that is the biological assay, are given in US Pharmacopoeia. USP reference cod liver oil is given to vitamin A depleted rats. Another set of such rats are administered the sample. The rate of growth of the two sets is compared. It is known that animals fail to grow if vitamin A is not given. The changes in the epithelium of many organs of the animal are noticed under vitamin A deficiency. Such organs include salivary glands, the respiratory tract, and the genitourinary tract. Eyes are of course the primary organ which is affected. Early deficiency symptoms are enlargement of the eyelids and inflammation of the conjunctiva. Corneal changes finally lead to blindness. The relationship between vitamin A deficiency and xerothalamia was established during World War I. Denmark exported much of its butter and its own children were deprived of it. Xerothalmia leading to blindness became common. Bloch showed that consumption of cod liver oil or butter cured the symptoms. Night blindedness is the ability to adapt to dim illumination. This is also due to vitamin A deficiency. If the symptom is detected early before pathological changes occur, light blindedness can be corrected by vitamin A administration. In 1938, George Weld established the relationship between dark adaptation and vitamin A status. Retinoic acid is the derivative of vitamin A. which regulates the gene expression and development of epithelial tissues. The drug retinoin, that is retin A, contains retinoic acid as the active ingredient and is used for treating cases of acne and skin conditions. The visual pigment present in retinal cells of the eye is retinal and is more properly called 11-cis retinal. The retinal cells in vertebrates are of two kinds and are distinguished by the nature of the photoreceptor present in them. Cones are responsible for our vision in bright light and capacity to distinguish color. Rods help us in seeing things in dim light. The names rods and cones are based upon the shapes of the cells. The right hand side of this slide shows an electron micrograph of a rod outer segment showing the stack of disc. The left hand side shows structural details of a retinal rod cell. A human retina has nearly 3 million cones and a lot more, that is 100 million rod cells. Light falls into these photoreceptor cells and that is the primary signal in the visual process. The rod cells contain 11-cis retinal bound to a protein called opsin. The complex is called rhodopsin. The 11-cis retinal is responsible for UV spectra of rhodopsin with a lambda max of around 500 nm. It has exceptionally high molar extinction coefficient of 40,000 per centimeter per mole. Retinal is linked to opsin by a Schiff base linkage through an epsilon amino group of lysine. The Schiff base is in the protonated form as shown here. Beta carotene is cleaved to form retinol, that is vitamin A2. The visual pigment 11-cis retinol is its oxidation product. First, in the vitamin A, all trans retinol is oxidized by retinol dehydrogenase, which converts OH group to CHO group. Next, retinal isomerase converts the specific double bond between C11 and C12 to cis configuration. Rod cells and cone cells of the retina form synapses with bipolar cells, which are in turn connected to other nerve cells of the retina. The light signal is transduced to the electrical signal, which is transmitted by the fibers of the optic nerve to the brain. It is the outer segment of the rod cells, which has a stack of about 1000 discs of 160 angstrom thickness. It is here that rhodopsin is packed. The inner segment, rich in mitochondria and ribosomes, is equipped with the capacity of producing ATP rapidly and synthesizing protein activity. The discs are renewable with life of 1 month. As early as 1938, Selig showed that a single human rod cell can be excited by even a single photon. That makes rhodopsins exceptionally sensitive photoreceptors. It was George Weld who in 1958 showed that the primary event as a result of photoexcitation is the conversion of 11-cis retinal in rhodopsin to all trans retinal. This isomerization results in Schiff base linkage of retinal molecule with opsin by about 5 angstrom. The isomerization of 11-cis retinal to all trans retinal is an extremely fast process taking place within a few picoseconds of photon absorption by rhodopsin. The strained all-trans retinal containing pigment is now called bathorodopsin. This in fact triggers a series of conformational changes in the visual pigment. Each stage has a different lambda max of absorption spectra and distinct lifetimes. These are all shown in this slide. In meta-rhodopsin 2, the Schiff base is deprotonated and this leads to dissociation of the chromophore all trans-retinal and opsin. The trans-retinal does not fit in well with opsin like 11-cis retinal. However, once photoexcitation ceases, all trans isomer reverts back to 11-cis retinal, which again can bind opsin to regenerate rhodopsin, which is then ready for the next photoexciting event. The plasma membranes of the rod cells have open cation specific channels in the dark. These channels are blocked by light. This does not allow sodium ion influx, leading to a photo-induced hyperpolarization as the membrane is more positive from inside. In the open channel form, the sodium ion influx is possible because sodium ion and potassium ion ATPase pump maintains the large electrochemical gradient. The signal due to hyperpolarization is passed from the outer segment to the synapse. The response of rod cells is proportional to photons absorbed. A single photon absorbed by dark adapted rod closes many hundreds of cation channels, and this is equivalent to about 1 millivolt of hyperpolarization. So, rod cells have high sensitivity. Equally important, if a red cell is constantly eliminated, it needs more photons to get excited. Conversely, a rod cell which is dark adapted requires very few photons to get excited. This enables us to see in the dark. This adaptation also confers on red cells the capability of perceiving contrast over a 10,000 fold range of light intensity. The signal amplification involved is enormous. One photon absorbed by a dark adapted cone cells stops the flow of a million sodium ion. As we know, cascade mechanisms are often employed by biological systems for amplifying signals. Rhodopsin, which is indicated simply as R in this slide, after photooxidation becomes excited rhodopsin R star. This triggers transducin TGTP to activate a phosphodiesterase. The activated phosphodiesterase PDE converts cyclic GMP to 5-GMP. This decrease in cyclic GMP concentration is responsible for closing of sodium ion specific channel. Transducin is a peripheral membrane protein with 3 subunits alpha, beta and gamma. It is alpha subunit which has a GTP binding site. Rhodopsin after photooxidation actually binds transducin and exchanges its GTP with GDP of the transducin. The activated phosphodiesterase has the catalytic efficiency of what Jeremy Knowles called perfect enzymes. A turnover number of 4200 second inverse and kcat by km of 6 into 10 to the power 7 per molar per second. It's very clear to diffusion control limit. This is responsible for signal amplification power of the cascade. 11-cis retinal is the common chromophore in the visual pigment of all the 3 phyla, mollusks, arthropods and vertebrates, which have image forming eyes. The design of 11-cis retinal makes this the visual pigment of the choice. High excitation coefficient of 11-cis retinal in the visible region of electromagnetic spectrum. Rapid isomerization as a result of light stimulus and the adaptation in the dark are three valuable design elements. The movement as a result of deprotonation of the Schiff base within the molecule is large enough to generate the desired signal. The beta carotene, the precursor of visual pigment, is widely distributed in the biological world. Conjugated double bond systems of carotenoids makes these molecules useful even in the microbial world. The ubiquitous molecule design is confirmed by the fact that the octopus rhodopsin can trigger transducin from vertebrates. The design involving rhodopsin and transducin seem to be at least 700 million years old. Rhodopsin itself is a 40 kilodalton integral membrane protein with 7 transmembrane helical motif. The carboxyl end is towards cytosolic side and is involved in binding of transducin and rhodopsin. The amino terminal is on intradiscal side and glycosylated with N-linked oligosaccharides. As predicted by Thomas Young in 1802, photoreception by cone cells involves adsorption of blue, green and red light by the three distinct classes of these cells. The key molecule 11-cis retinal is of course common to all three types of cone cells. 11-cis retinal forming a Schiff base as a model compound not with opsine has lambda max of absorption at 440 nm. The role of opsine is in shifting this absorption spectra significantly by about 100 nm. Proteins are known to significantly tune the properties and the function of these prosthetic group. The gene sequence of cone cell proteins reveal that the protein sequence in different kinds of cone cells is not vastly different. What is more, their overall structure is very similar to the rod protein rhodopsin. The genes for green absorbing and red absorbing visual pigment occur next to each other in X chromosome. The blue absorbing pigment is coded by a gene on an autosome. About 1% men are red blind and 2% are green blind. Evidence suggests that the color-blind males either lack the green gene or contains a hybrid gene of the green and red genes. This is the result of recombination. Some people are known to have an array of multiple genes, which further confirms this model of color blindness. Rickets, previously called rachitis, is an ancient disease. Glisson in England described it in 1650 as being prevalent in infants. Curiously, the famous London fog was thought to be its cause in early times. The nature of belief turned out to be erroneous, but the cause was identified correctly. Fog prevents exposure to sunshine. Rickets was caused by vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is actually produced by photochemical reaction of its precursor. Again, cod liver oil was known very early as useful in rickets. Cod liver oil, apart from vitamin A activity, also contain provitamin D, and hence it makes sense to start discussing vitamin D after vitamin A. Now we come to vitamin D. Malan in 1918 demonstrated rickets in experimental animals by feeding just milk and porridge to dogs and showed that cod liver oil has anti-rashetic factor by curing the experimental rickets. In 1919, Hudshinsky observed that exposing rashetic children to UV rays helps. Soon thereafter, McCollum in 1922 showed that the cod liver oil factor was involved in calcium deposition. In 1932, Angus isolated crystalline vitamin D by high vacuum distillation of products obtained from UV radiation of ergosterol. The name calcitirol was given to what is also called vitamin D2. In 1936, Windens isolated 7-dehydrocholesterol vitamin D3. 7-dehydrocholesterol is the precursor of vitamin D3. Exposure of skin to UV rays of the sunlight triggers this photochemical conversion to vitamin D3 or cholecalciferol as shown in this slide. Enzymes in the liver and kidney converts this inactive vitamin D3, which some people prefer to call previtamin, to 1,25 dihydroxycholecalciferol. This compound regulates the calcium absorption in intestine and controls calcium level in kidney and bone. For this reason, it is sometimes also called a hormone. Vitamin D2, ergocalciferol, is produced by yeast ergosterol irradiation commercially. As both D2 and D3 have similar effects, it is D2 which is a more common supplement and additive. Practically very little vitamin D is present in milk, grains and vegetables. Butter and fish liver have some. Albacore, tuna, swordfish, lingcod and halibut have higher potency liver oils. Just like thyroid and steroid hormones, vitamin D also operates by its complex with the receptor interacting with hormone response elements on DNA. This regulates the specific gene expressions. Fortified milk and food thus form the regular source of vitamin D activity. The recommended daily dose of vitamin D is 400 international units irrespective of age. 0.025 microgram of pure crystalline vitamin D3 is considered as 1 international unit or 1 USP unit of vitamin D. While rickets is the disease of children, vitamin D deficiency in adult leads to osteomalacia, in which bones soften and weakens. Lack of exposure to sunshine causes osteomalacia as well. It was in 1929 that Dam observed that some synthetic diet leads to chicks hemorrhaging. Within few years, in 1935, he suggested the term vitamin K, K for coagulations is spelled with K in those days, be used for a factor which must exist in food to protect birds and animals against bleeding. Dam found that this factor was present in hog liver and hemp seeds and it was fat soluble. In 1935, Elmquist and Stekstad showed vitamin K to be present in fish meal. Alpha-alpha also contained this as an unsaponifiable compound in ether extract. In 1939, vitamin K was isolated from alpha-alpha in fish meal. However, two preparations contained different compounds with vitamin K activity and were called vitamin K and K2 respectively. In the same year, vitamin K was synthesized. The first pure chemical found to have vitamin K activity was actually Fiocol. Vitamin K1 and K2 also contain the 1,4-naphthaquinone ring with different substituents. In case of vitamin K2, the number of isoprene units N can vary as 6, 7 or 9. The simplest vitamin K is 2-methyl-1,4-naphthaquinone and is called vitamin K3. Some water-soluble analogues like zinc white are also available. Mostly these get converted to vitamin K3 in vivo. In rats and humans, vitamin K is supplied by intestinal flora, which are able to synthesize it, and thus vitamin K is available via intestinal absorption. Infants yet to develop intestinal flora needs it, and in US, newborn are routinely given 1 milligram of vitamin K. Enquist in 1941 described the vitamin K assay. Chicks depleted with vitamin K are administered the sample, and degree of regeneration of prothrombin is determined. Menadione can also be estimated spectrophotometrically as its 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazone derivative. Blood clots are cross-linked fibrin clot. Fibrin clot is the ultimate product of a cascade pathway. The terminal part of that cascade pathway is shown here. Vitamin K converts first 10 glutamate residues on the N-terminal region of prothrombin to gamma carboxyglutamate. These strong chelators of calcium ion helps calcium ion bound prothrombin to attach to phospholipid membranes of damaged blood platelets. This triggers the cascade to go towards clot formation. Dicumarol warfarin are antagonists of vitamin K and prolong blood clotting time. Dicumarol was identified as vitamin K antagonist from the old observation that cattle and hogs, which when fed on spoiled sweet clover hay, bled to death. This disease is called sweet clover disease, and factor was identified by Link's group in 1941 as dicumarol. These vitamin K antagonists, whose structures is shown here, are useful in many surgeries or wherever blood clotting has to be inhibited. Vitamin B had been implicated in reproduction since early times. It was 1927 that vitamin E was found in non-saponifiable fraction of lipids from some foods. In 1936, crystalline derivative of vitamin E were reported. The first vitamin E to be structurally characterized was alpha tocopherol from wheat germ oil. Fernholz in 1932 determined the structure of alpha tocopherol. Same year, Carrer's group synthesized it. In due course of time, 8 naturally occurring tocopherol derivatives were discovered. The natural tocopherols have D configuration around C2 asymmetric carbon. Synthetic compound is di-alpha tocopherol. Tocopherols are oils, but their esters are crystalline. Oxidation and UV light destroys vitamin E activity. Tocopherols themselves are strong antioxidants. The actual role of vitamin E has not been clear as deficiency symptoms in humans are not clearly established. However, vitamin E is required. In its absence, RBCs are more prone to lysis. Studies showed that high dietary linoleic acid requires vitamin E. Some correlation with muscular atrophy with vitamin E deficiency has been reported. Creatine urea also was observed during vitamin E deficiency. The picture is somewhat clearer with animals. In female rats, vitamin E deficiency can disturb the estrous cycle and reproduction. In male rats, degeneration of testes is observed during vitamin E deficiency. Muscle dystrophy is also clearly seen in rats of all ages and both genders. Wheat germ oil has high content of vitamin E. Other oils such as corn, cottonseed and safflower also contain reasonable amount of vitamin E. Unlike vitamin A and D, Fish oils are poor in vitamin E. Lettuce and alfalfa, however, are good source of vitamin E. So, to summarize, in this module we learnt about the sources, assay and physiological importance of vitamin A, vitamin D and its role in calcium absorption, vitamin K and its involvement in fibrin clot formation, and vitamin E as an antioxidant. Some of the vitamins turned out to be similar to hormones as exemplified with vitamin D. Of all fat soluble vitamins, molecular level picture is most clear about vitamin A and least clear about vitamin E. We do know vitamin E is required, but it's difficult to get a clear role, as is in the case of other vitamins for humans. What also emerges is that with such simple facilities which are available in those early era, some brilliant work was carried out by these early biochemists. Thank you.